What I'm about to speak about is distressing for all of us, but it's happening and it's important. Overnight, the most horrific news imaginable. The Israeli Defense Force discovered the bodies of 40 babies and young children. They'd been killed, some even beheaded. Babies found dead next to their cots. The shocking sight of babies and young children with their heads cut off meant that the soldiers who found them and recovered their bodies were seen crying and comforting each other. These Hamas terrorists targeted and mutilated the most vulnerable, pregnant women and tiny babies. Jacqueline Magnay in The Australian writes that the atrocities from the Kfar Azar, as well as Kibbutz Be'eri and Kibbutz Re'em, shows that the Hamas militants were intent on brutalising their mass murder spree to leave a deep psychological imprint on those left behind. She writes that in one harrowing image from Kfar Azar, a baby cot with a small dress on the top is drenched in blood. She writes that I-24 news correspondent Nicole Zedek said soldiers had told her that many babies were found next to their cots with their heads cut off. And her colleague, also at Kfar Azar, said we're talking about burned houses with entire families killed inside, women and children whose heads have been cut off. She said it's the apocalypse. Many bodies were still lying in the street. And here's Nicole Zedek breaking down as she describes what she saw.
It's hard to even explain exactly just the mass casualties that happened right here. In fact, the Israeli military says they still don't have a clear number, but I'm talking to some of the soldiers and they say what they've witnessed as they've been walking through these different houses, these different communities, babies, their heads cut off. That's what they said. Gunned down, families completely gunned down in their beds. You can see some of these soldiers right now comforting each other.